And now it's time for today's guest. Daymond John is an entrepreneur, a pioneer in the fashion industry, and one of the stars of ABC's hit show Shark Tank. Today he's here with Jonathan Norton, the winner of the 3rd annual Bob Evans Farms Heroes to CEOs contest, which allows for new veteran entrepreneurs to start their own businesses. Everyone, please give a warm Build Brunch welcome to Daymond John and Jonathan Norton.
Hi, thanks for coming on. Hi, thank you for coming on.
How are you?
How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Woo!
Okay.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome. So good to
Welcome.
have
Be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to the table.
Good seeing you.
you. Oh, hey, yeah.
Oh
nice
man,
to
lots
see
of
you.
cards here. Are these yours? Sorry
Samantha
about
just
that.
got
We
these.
got so excited.
So thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Bob Evans Farms Heroes to CEOs.
Yeah, so this is our 3rd year doing that, and people in our armed services can all apply to it, and they'll win a $30,000 grant. Whoever is the finalist, and some time with me, and Jonathan's the one who won.
Congrats, Jonathan.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So, as a finalist, you had like a 45-minute prep session with Daymond. You went over your pitch. What was that like working together?
Informative. I mean, I got the opportunity to spend time with a very successful entrepreneur to hone my business strategy and get prepared to pitch to a panel of judges. So, and just look at what's the best way to spend my capital so I can grow the business.
Sure. And how does your experience with growing FUBU play into kind of how you mentor people?
Well, it's all really the same, no matter what kind of product you have, whether it's rope safe or FUBU or someone has a lotion company or food. It's really how do you build a community, how do you solve a need or a pain that people have, and then how do you find a way to produce it and sell it to people so that they go out and talk to everybody else about it.
Right. And this is your 3rd year working with Bob Evans?
This is my 3rd year working with Bob Evans
And
Farms.
what
I'm
has
doing
your
this.
experience been like for those 3 years?
Absolutely amazing. I deal with so many other corporations who they like to talk about all the things they're going to do, but Bob Evans Farms actually does it. And, giving him the $30,000 to just keep his business growing. And, of course, talking Memorial Day is coming up, talking about the men and women who fight for our country. I mean, he's a badass. Listen, at the end of the day, he's an Army Ranger who teaches other SEALs and Green Berets and people like that on how to rappel. I mean, I just want to hang out with the dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's really an honor, working with Bob Evans Farm because they keep doing this. We all know some of these companies do it for 1 year, then they're off to something else new. 3 years in, and they're going strong.
On that note, I'm assuming it's been so incredibly personal to you from your experience and now growing this business. What was it like winning this competition?
I guess it goes back to the reason why I'm in business in the first place is because there are men and women out there serving our country and our community every day to keep us safe. And to have a product that may just save a life. It's a life-saving product that has been tested by some of the most elite military and first responder units in the country, right down here in the boroughs of Manhattan with Rescue 1, with Ladder 111. They've tested and validated this product works. Right. So that is very inspiring to me, to have a product that I know benefits those who are serving our country and our community.
So it's peak safety systems, right? It produces safety equipment for the military and other individuals. So how did this idea come to be? And what was the process, making it, getting off the ground and putting it out there?
Yeah. It stemmed from, this is the product right here. It's an edge protection system for load-bearing ropes and cables. And why I started the company, because I witnessed a student, when I was a ranger instructor, I witnessed a student nearly fall to his death because the edge protector we were using when he was hanging on the rope and rappelling failed. And so I just knew there's got to be a better way. So I found that every edge protection system on the market had the same problems. They don't stay in position. There's no easy way to hook them up. And so I knew I could find a solution.
So for the people in the room or watching who are dummies like I was when he showed this, when you put the rope on some kind of edge, that thing is giving and giving and it could wear out. So if the fire department was here and they happened to save me and I've got a couple pounds on me now, I want to make sure that rope doesn't wear out when the person is rappelling and pulling my chunky butt up, so that's what this is for.
And Daymond, can you share some advice that you've given Jonathan?
There's really not much to give somebody like this, but except for, how can you deliver it to municipalities and SWAT teams and things of that nature, people who need every day, and how when people like us are talking about it, how can we relate to it? Because the first one he's telling me about an Army Ranger and stuff like that, I'm like, these are the elite of the elite. I don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
But then when I started to tell him, well, how are you sharing it with everyday people? Saying whether you're mountain climbing or whether you're, you know, in the SWAT team, whether you're saving somebody, how will that help our lives? And then he started to share that with the judges, and the judges were like, I get it.
Nice. Now, Daymond, Shark Tank season 10 just finished airing. What was some of your favorite parts of this season?
All the investments that I made on the season, of course. Right? That's the favorite part. You know, it's always amazing to see, you know, people who are just everyday people who come up with an idea like Jonathan and go, I'm not going to use any excuse. I don't have any money, but I'm going to go out there and I start doing it. And even if the Sharks turn them down, I love when they go out and say, screw you. I'm going to go and make this $1 billion company myself. So like Jamie, the guy who created Ring, is on this year. He was a Shark. And, you know, we all told him no, and Mr. Wonderful, of course, you know, told him, you're dead to me. The guy goes off and sells the company for a $1.2 billion to who was it? To Amazon, I think, right? Yeah. So when I see people like that, it gives me so much pride to see how anybody watching today can become a millionaire tomorrow if they just sit out and put their mind to it.
You're not kicking yourself in those, you know, that.
I am. I call the guy every week, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, can I get some love?
Yeah, and you've been on the show for so long, so how do you stay like excited when people are giving you pitches? And is there anyone that you still look back on, other than Ring, that you just remember and love that pitch?
I love most of them, and I get excited about it because, you know, listen, if you don't have the time to go out and create your own product, you invest in products, and I can't know everything. So half the time I'm on the show, just like a lot of people watching, I go, why didn't I think of that? Wait a minute, I have a couple of dollars I could put in on that. So I really get excited, you know, and I think we all do. And now sometimes, don't get me wrong, I get buyer's remorse. You know, about 6 months in, I go, man, why did I do that stupid idea? But most of the time, 99% of the time, I just get excited hearing these products and these ideas.
And as a viewer, I love watching because I don't think I realized the financial part about building a business, and I think it's an education for a lot of people. And I know you have this partnership now with Chase Small Business, where you're helping business owners be a little smarter about managing their money. So why was that important for you?
I think the same as working with Bob Evans Farms, that when you see companies that really want to educate people on what they need to do, you know, that's why I got with Shark Tank. You know, Shark Tank's been on 10 years, but 10 years ago, did people, you know what millionaires and billionaires want to hear when you pitch them? Do they know what royalties were, margins were, and all that kind of stuff? And today you can ask yourself that question when you're going into an interview of anything. And if you know those answers, you're better off to get an investment or things like that. And I think Chase, as well as Bob Evans Farms, love to educate people who are going out there and going to create jobs, going to save lives, going to make their, you know, make their family, you know, give their family the access to all the things they need. So it's just a win-win.
Yeah, it's amazing when you inspire somebody around their finances, what can happen.
Absolutely, because you can't depend on, so many, a job today. If you're depending on a job often, you're depending on somebody else's dream if they make it happen. And you could put all the work you want into it, but if they made the bad decisions, then you're screwed. So while you have your day job, do something on the side.
Right, and get that pitch worked out.
Get that pitch ready and
So
worked
what are you
out.
looking for in a pitch?
I'm looking for, first of all, is it a problem that's going to solve a pain? Because most entrepreneurs come up with something they're like, I need to solve this pain that's in the market and nobody else is doing it, so I'm going to do it. Did you create the product? Do you have any bit of sales? $5,000, $1,000, and then, do I like you? End of the day, it's going to be, do I like you?